What's all this business about Goldbach levels?
I'm going to break down ICT's latest trade and show you how he uses Goldback, aka Enigma, to execute all of his strategies. In this video, I'm going to provide further evidence that every asset, including cryptocurrency, is priced using Goldback. Now, if you are an OG follower of my channel, you'll see a lot of my early trades were trading Bitcoin using Goldback. It was awesome because I only really traded Forex Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and my weekends were free, but then Bitcoin obviously is a 24/7 market. So anytime I saw a nice Goldback algorithm running over the weekend, it was easy money, and I could cash up on that. It's a little bit harder to trade Bitcoin now because I'm in the UK. A lot of the exchanges prohibit me from trading, so there's other ways I trade Bitcoin. Now, just some background, if you would like a complete breakdown of how Bitcoin is priced using Goldback on the higher time frame, I suggest you take a look at one of these older videos I have. So if you scroll down, in this video, a month ago, I predicted the Bitcoin pump. Now, I think Bitcoin was at around 30K when I did this analysis. So I performed all the analysis on Bitcoin showing how it was respecting the Goldback expansion protocol, and then how the various power of 3 dealing ranges, as the expansion continued, influences future price action. So take a look at that one if you want some background, and my higher time frame targets on Bitcoin. Now, be careful, because if you are aware of what's going on in the world right now, I've got to be careful what I say, but let's say a lot of countries are rolling out their own digital currencies. Now, if you are a country that wants to impose your own currency on your population, would you allow Bitcoin to be freely used as an alternative? So just bear that in mind. This is why I do not hold any Bitcoin anymore, and I have to trade it in other ways. But bear that in mind whenever you see one of my videos. It's not financial advice. An interesting post that was sent to me was this one on my Twitter, where ICT says, once he understood that price was an algorithm and it was basically a computer program, he was excited because he was finding new and new developments every week, and he had wrote down he had found Midas. Now, if you know anything about Midas, the King Midas had the Midas touch. He could turn anything into gold. Now, my channel's about Goldback, so read into that as you wish. Now, another thing I just want to highlight is, as it's Christmas, I'm giving away a free mentorship on via my Twitter. So just find this. The rules are very simple. Anyone can participate. So if you've already done the mentorship with me, you can still enter the competition. I'll give you 3 months worth of free access to my chartered Discord group. Now, going to the charts. So this higher time frame analysis was explained in that YouTube video, so go check that out. But I'm going to show you how you could have traded Goldback on the lower time frames. Now, if you go back to my old OG videos where I traded Bitcoin, you will see that I liked the 2187 power of 3 for my Bitcoin trades. So let me break down and prove to you how Bitcoin is also priced using Goldback. So we're on the 6-month chart. Let's break this down a little bit. So if we go to the 2187, which is what I like to trade Bitcoin on, and let's zoom down to the 1-hour chart. Okay, it looks pretty random, right? It looks random. It seems like you can't decipher what's going on. But for my OG followers, you know that price is not random at all, right? So the way Goldback works, just as a recap, and go check out my explainer videos on Goldback, maybe the introduction to Goldback or the DMN indicator explained, given a price of an asset, the dealing ranges, the low and the high, are already predefined by mathematics. Not only are they already predefined by mathematics, the PD arrays are also defined. So it's just a matter of waiting for time and price to come together and for the algorithm to be running on a specific power of 3, in this case the 2187, and then you can catch phenomenal trades. So what do I mean here? So in this case, we had an order block. Now it's quite a big order block because there were some other targets going on. Right, so we had the order block and we swept a lot of liquidity. This was back on the 18th of December. But have a look at the PD arrays. It's not always about the order blocks. Can you see what this is? This is a fair value gap. And this fair value gap formed in the fair value gap GB level. Can you see that? So if you were anticipating to go long, based off my previous video of the higher time frame Bitcoin targets, you would have realized that there was a fair value gap in the fair value gap GB level. All you had to do was be patient. So let me mark out that fair value gap for you. There you go. There's your fair value gap on the 1 hour time frame. Now, you may be saying, Cam, that's quite random. You're form fitting. If you draw random lines on the chart, they're going to hit at some point, right? I hear this a lot. Now, if you've watched my videos, if you watch more than 3, then you know that Goldback is not random and is very, very precise. And I've proved it again and again, especially using ICT's trades, that all markets are priced using Goldback and ICT also trades using Goldback. How can I provide further evidence that this was a Goldback algorithm running? See this low that retraced to the fair value gap in the fair value gap GB level? Let's have a look at the price of it. 41794. And what is the price of the bottom of the fair value gap? 41794. Exactly the same. Is this a coincidence? You tell me, is this a coincidence? Now, I mean, there are so many instances where these Goldback lines were acting as support and resistance. Off by $1, right? Off by $1 there. The exact price. Okay, so forget about these. The main point is you had a fair value gap in the fair value gap GB level. Price retraced, filled 100% of the fair value gap GB level. Okay, I don't care about candle fair value gaps. Right, it filled 100% of the fair value gap GB level, and then we terminated at the high of the dealing range. So if you had come in on this trade, let's say you did something like this, maybe you said, okay, let's say we're going to come in, if this is the fair value gap, maybe you did something like this. You could have put it above the low. However you want to trade this. Okay, however you want to trade this. Okay, if you're very conservative, you could put it off, taking it off the low. That would have given you a nice 1 to 2. If you knew a little bit more about Goldback, you could have said, okay, we shouldn't violate the extension. You could have got a 1 to 2.7. So however you want to trade it, you have your own algorithms and your own strategies. And Hoppy's book, Demystifying ICT, what every ICT trader still wants to know, has around 8 trading plans on how you can trade Goldback. But I'm just giving you a general concept on how you can trade these things. Now, not only did we fill 100% of the fair value gap GB level to the dollar, we had time coming together, Goldback time. Now, I've done a previous video on Goldback time, and you know how precise it was. Go find it. It was one of ICT's trades where price retraced to exactly 50% of the fair value gap GB level, Goldback level, not the candle one, this one here, at a specific time and then retraced away. I'm going to show you the exact same equation, the exact same calculation I did on this. In that way, you'll know that I'm not form fitting. So let's just replay price back so I can find this low. It's all about time and price coming together, but not these 4-hour, 5-hour kill zones. We use Goldback time and price. What time did this low occur? 1301. 1301. So the equation is hours plus minutes equals Goldback time. And the Goldback time has to match with Goldback price. So 13 plus 01 equals 14. We are in the fair value gap, interestingly, coincidentally, but what is the consequent encroachment of this fair value gap GB partition? i.e., what is 50% between the 11 and the 17? 17, I'll do the calculation for you, minus 11 equals 6. 50% of 6 equals 3. 11, the bottom of the fair value gap, plus 50% of it equals 14. The consequent encroachment, the CE of the fair value gap, is 14. Time and price is 14. Do you understand? That's how you could have predicted that this was the low. This is how you could have predicted that this was the exact low, right? Because there are three things. One, we retrace down to the fair value gap GB level. We rejected to the dollar off of the bottom of the fair value gap after filling it. And then we had Goldback time come together. So that original trade that I showed you, which was something like 1.2, now how could you have traded this, right? You have a pretty high confidence that this is the low. So you're just looking for any entry protocol you like, okay? So maybe once we had a 1 minute break of structure, you could have had a market execute here, a market buy, and had your stop there. Okay, let's see what else. Are there any volume imbalances or fair value gaps? Look, there's a little volume imbalance there. If you just want to be technical, you could have said volume imbalance. Take it off at, let's say, the high. Bang, tapped in. See how this volume imbalance is respected. Candles don't want to close. But anyway, you get the picture, right? Very powerful because time and price came together. Goldback price and Goldback time. And it was very, very specific. We had a fair value gap in the fair value gap GB level. We filled 100% of that fair value gap to the dollar. We then had it at Goldback time, 50% of the CE price. Now, yes, I could go on forever and produce hundreds of videos. If you would like to learn more about Goldback, though, from the official source, which is Hoppy, not me, I'm just a fan, there is still time to access his Discord via the book. So if you would like to purchase the book, there's a link to his book in the description below. Or if you would like me to teach you my golden bullet strategy for Goldback, there's also a link. I hope you've enjoyed my videos. It's been a crazy ride. I think I've produced 100 Goldback videos in the last 3 months. If you would like me to produce any other content, just let me know. Otherwise, have a beautiful Christmas, and I will catch you in January.